Good evening to you. Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, here with your Hurricane Pro and HD video blog for the 13th of October 2014. I prepared one earlier today and I pushed it to the servers, but it didn't show up. Who knows? And it's gone. I deleted it because I thought it was there. Goes to show you that you can never assume anything. So here we are, late in the evening, about 9:30 Eastern Time on the 13th of October, and things are really busy now in the Atlantic Basin. We just got done with Hurricane Faye after it brought 80 to 90 mile per hour winds to Bermuda. We have Hurricane Gonzalo out here, an invest area 91L, and I do believe we're going to have to be watching this area over the next couple of weeks for potential development as a favorable Madden-Julian oscillation pattern sets up. So first of all, let's take a look at what's going on with Gonzalo. Right now, pretty intense convection circulating around that low-level center, which is right in here somewhere, and you can see it's got pretty decent outflow, a little bit of a ragged appearance to it, but it's really getting ready to get into an environment that's going to support strengthening. Here's Bermuda right here, and you have all this open Atlantic water between the Lesser Antilles and Bermuda, and this water in here is very warm, lots of upper ocean heat content available, and I think the atmosphere is going to be conducive for this to develop. Looking at the 5-day track map for Gonzalo, it is headed towards Bermuda, it looks like. Over time, you can kind of connect the dots here. You figure out all the little wigs and wags between these forecast points, and there's Bermuda sitting right in there between days 4 and 5, and this could be quite a formidable hurricane once it gets into that area. But for now, in the islands of the Caribbean, you have the Virgin Islands here, and then you have Anguilla and St. Martin over here off the radar screen, and St. Croix down here to the south. And you can see that there are a few bands of rain coming through. There's San Juan, Puerto Rico there. Really not a bad night. The center of the hurricane is over here, so it's a good deal away from the Puerto Rico area and even the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Unfortunately, areas off to the east, and we can see this a little bit better on the long range, there's the eye right there of Hurricane Gonzalo. I believe this is Anguilla, however you say it, and this is going to be moving off to the northwest. And so you folks here in the British Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, not much to worry about in terms of hurricane conditions, probably not even tropical storm conditions. Luckily, this is a fairly small hurricane, and so it's not taking up a lot of real estate, therefore the wind field is not too bad. Looking at the next several days with Gonzalo, I want to zoom in here. This is Bermuda right here. Okay, that's Bermuda, and you see most of the more reliable computer model tracks go right over Bermuda there in the next 4 to 5 days. Look at this at day 5. It's way up here in the northern Atlantic. That's just amazing. Really going to pick up some speed after it gets out of the Caribbean here. Going to curve around. We've got this big trough coming in, and that'll help to sort of sweep this out. Try to draw a little broom here. Not very good. You get the idea that it's going to get booted out, but unfortunately this tiny little island in here actually is made up of several islands of Bermuda in the way, and it looks like the center could possibly go right over. Now that's a small island in a big ocean, and it's hard to hit it. It really is. Although Faye, the center of Faye, just went right over Bermuda, you never know. Maybe this is some kind of a short-term pattern. So you folks in Bermuda here need to watch this very, very closely. Meanwhile, in the Pacific, all this attention on the Atlantic, but check this out in the Pacific, Tropical Depression number 2C, and that C right there is for Central Pacific, because this is west of 140 degrees west longitude here, so it falls in the Central Pacific Hurricane Center's area of responsibility. This will become, I believe it's called ANA, A-N-A, is the first name of the Central Pacific. Remember, if they come over from another area like the East Pacific, they keep that name, and we had a couple this year that did that. And so this would be the first one that develops in the Central Pacific area of responsibility. Therefore, the name would be Anna. A lot to keep up with. Check it out. In 5 days, the official forecast from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center, which is located here in Hawaii, indicating a possible direct hit on the Big Island. That is very, very difficult to do, and I think it's never happened in recorded history, if memory serves. We came close this year. I forget the name of it. I think it was in the I storm, or I can't even remember. It's been such a long season in the Eastern Pacific. One of them came over here and almost made it as a hurricane into Hawaii, but it died out, fell apart, literally got cut in half, sheared, dried up, whatever, right before making it to Hawaii. But this one has a chance. The forecast actually has it at about 90 miles per hour here on Saturday morning, so you folks are going to want to pay attention to this. Some of the models, though, do have it kind of coming up and meandering. Others are more to the south. This is going to be an interesting time, and we'll watch this very closely. So there's a lot happening, that is for sure. Luckily, nothing affecting the lower 48. Lots of severe weather moving through parts of the nation's midsection, so I think that's enough to keep us busy for now, but nothing out of the tropics. It's all aimed at various islands around the United States, east or west or south. Kind of crazy, but one other thing I want to point out. Gonzalo makes the 6th hurricane of the Atlantic season, which is the average of where we should be. We've had 7 named storms. 6 of those 7 have become hurricanes. One of them, Edouard, became a major hurricane briefly, and it looks like that Gonzalo will also become a major hurricane. It has potential, and that would put us at about right where we should be for seasonal activity hurricane-wise. A little short on the named storm side. Usually we have 9 to 10 named storms, but I think we're going to probably crank out 1 or 2 more before the end of the season, and so we may end up with an average season. Remember, it was supposed to be below average, and up till now we have been, but we're making up for some lost ground. Just something to keep in mind. It's, never over until it's over. All right, well, that is it from me for tonight. Sorry it took a few extra hours to get this on. I'll make sure it is on the server and in the app or apps, whether you're looking at it on Hurricane Pro or HD, and I'll make sure it gets there. And then I'll be back tomorrow afternoon with another look at the tropics for you at that point as well. Again, Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com. That's my website. Check it out if you haven't already, and I'll be back for you with more tomorrow.